This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson. I'm here with Newsload, and today we are interviewing Pete Zedlacher. How are you, Pete?
Very good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh gosh, it's such an honor. I have to say, I saw you in Toronto, Yuck Yucks, and my favorite joke you did was the CN Tower with a hand on it or something, and it was giving a hand job. My
Wow.
favorite.
I didn't think we were going to get right to hand job within the first minute of our conversation here, but here we
Hey,
are.
you know, go right with the gusto.
Well, thanks. It's a really clever CN Tower joke that really makes you think.
It really does. And it's local and it's touristy, and you know, it's one of the wonders of the world with hand jobs.
That's right. That's right. Oh, wow. You're right. It's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's one of my favorites, you know?
There we go. Okay. Well, I'm very glad it tickled you. Thanks.
So, where were you born?
Born and raised in Wawa, Ontario, which is in northern Ontario, the northeast corner of Lake Superior, between Sault Ste. Marie and Thunder Bay. Spent 19 years of my life there, and then graduated high school and was gone, out of there. Moved to New York City, studied theater for 4 years, came back to Canada and tried stand-up on a whim, and it just took off. And I have not looked back since. It's coming up on my 27th anniversary of being a stand-up comedian now.
Theater?
Yeah, I was a theater geek. Yeah. And
So, were you one of those weirdos that like pretended to be a worm and crawled on the ground and like,
no, I was not a weirdo worm. No. We studied Stanislavski and Meisner technique, and we did theater, film, television. No, didn't go deep into the method acting of getting the mindset of a worm and crawling around. No, never got there.
okay, that's probably for the best. Did you have any brothers or sisters up in the cold north?
Only child. So yeah. George Carlin said years ago, he said comedians either come from a big family with lots of kids or only children. I'm like, oh, that really connects. That really resonated with me. Like, got a big family, you got to make a lot of noise to get attention, kind of thing. And then only children are center of attention, right? So I get it. I get that urge to jump up on stage and look at me.
So, what was your mom like?
She was a beautiful lady, very funny, very funny. Always looking out for everyone else, always want to make sure everyone was happy around her, and just incredibly encouraging in everything that I took interest in. Like, if I was interested in vampires when I was 11, she would buy me vampire books, and I liked Nirvana, and she bought me a Nirvana book, and she always just paid attention to what I was interested in and encouraged me to be creative. And yeah, I just lost her last year and a half ago, and I miss her immensely, and still trying to find my way in this world without her. She was
Oh, honey, I lost my father 15 years ago, and I still miss him. It never goes away.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
you know, the memories and knowing that you were her darling boy.
Yeah. Remarkable things have happened since she's passed, and I really feel like I've got another angel on my shoulder guiding
Well,
me.
absolutely. And if I can encourage you to talk to her pictures, to you know, I have my father's ring. I have pictures on my fridge. I talk to my dad all the time, and I'm a little superstitious that I believe that if you find a dime lying around, that you know that is, you know, the person that you are missing is sending a little, you know, token of love kind of
Yeah,
thing.
sure. I get that. I get that a lot. Yeah, I'm always looking for signs. Yeah.
Do you have any signs? Like one guy I read, you know, she was in love with yellow butterflies, and then a yellow butterfly would land on her shoulder. Oh, it's mom.
Well, My mom had terrible taste in music. I would tease her about it all the time. If there was a bad band, she loved it. She loved Who Let the Dogs Out and Snow. She loved Snow. But for the last chapter of her life, she loved Uptown Funk, that song by Bruno Mars. And it was one song that I finally kind of agreed with her. I'm like, good for you. It's a good song finally. So she passed, and I had about 24 hours to decide if I had a very big show. I was taping my dry bar comedy special in the United States, and I had to leave the next day after she passed. So I really had to decide, what am I going to do? They would understand if I canceled, obviously. But I was like, I'm just going to be here by myself. That's it. That's my family now. They're all gone. So it's just me. So I thought, well, just go. Like, my mom would be mad at me if I canceled, right? So anyway, long story. I had to drive across the country because I had a warm-up show in Edmonton. So I was driving across the country, and then the local radio station picks up Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. And it was like, wow, loud and clear. And then I drive into the next radio station signal, and then it played again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And then I get to Edmonton. I get introduced. Please welcome your headliner tonight, Pete Zedlacher. I walk on stage, unannounced, unset up with the manager. Uptown Funk is my walk-on music when I walked onto the stage. And it was like, loud and clear, loud and clear. That was a sign. And it gave me such comfort. I had such like grief sickness, is what my buddy who's a medic was explaining to me. He said, yeah, like, you felt sick, like it's grief sickness. And after that said, I felt okay for the first time. So it was a message loud and clear. I truly believe that something happens after this. We just have to be open to the signs. They can't pull the strings completely on the other side, but they can make little adjustments for you.
Because
so
you're doing what you love, you are all that's left, and being able to follow your dreams and bring joy to the people, even if you're literally sick with grief.
Yeah, it's that was another lesson learned there, was like, it doesn't matter what frame of mind you're in, you have to go on stage and entertain those people. So that was one of the hardest sets I had to do.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I walked on stage, big lump in my throat. And I told the audience, I'm like, something magical just happened just now. I can't talk about it right now. I'll talk about it at the end of the show. So at the very end of the show, I told the audience what had happened and the whole story behind it. And it was quite a powerful moment.
Of course. And did you make anybody laugh with that story, or did they all leave crying, going like, oh my gosh, I'm motivated and there's love in the world?
It was a beautiful way to end that show. It was a great show, lots of laughs, and then it was just a beautiful way to end it.
There's no argument that no matter what we're going through, we still have to dance monkeys,
That's right. There's no sick days. There's no sick days in comedy. Like, it's well, that's not true. You can be sick and not go on a show, but it's, no matter what your frame of mind is, you have to turn it on. You gotta dance, monkey. You just said it. Yeah, there's no backup plan.
Rob Pugh, I interviewed him, and apparently he had food poisoning and had to almost pooed his pants on stage and had to run off and go do his business and then come back, and he was all gray and it looked like he had just shot heroin, unfortunately. And do you have any accidental food poisoning stories?
I think the worst I've ever been sick on stage is just like a flu kind of thing. And that same medic who I mentioned in the other story, I told him, I'm like, I'm so sick, but I got a show. What do I do? And he said, look up pseudoephedrine is the drug. And if you take it about an hour before the show, you'll be kind of awake and you're good to go. And it's been my magic trick ever since. Like, about an hour before the performance, I could literally be lying in my hotel room sick as a dog, take 2 pseudoephedrines. I'm like, awake, okay, let's do this, showtime. And then within the hour, just shuts down again. So it's been my my magic trick if I'm sick on the road.
And what is this? Is this like smelling salts or something?
No, It's Advil, cold, and sinus, but it has to have pseudoephedrine, and pseudoephedrine is the active drug that they use to make meth. So it's used for, microdosingly. It's got medical uses, but macro dosing means you become a meth addict. Yeah. So Advil, cold, and sinus. If you're sick and you got a show, pop 2 of those before the show, and you'll be fine. But then you're gonna crash. You're gonna crash hard afterwards. Yeah.
But it's better than being sick and miserable the whole time.
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta do that because you won't be able to perform. So it's the trick of the trade.
Totally. Do you have any heckling stories?
So I'm currently, I just finished up a very sneak preview of my Edmonton Fringe Festival show. It's a one-man play entitled The War Comic. So it chronicles my adventures and experiences performing for the troops in war zones. It's something it's my little pet project I've been working on for about 20 years, and I'm very excited to finally get it on its feet. But I talk about the Taliban shooting a rocket at my show, which probably is the best heckle anybody's ever going to have.
Oh, yeah, you fucking infidel.
I found out the Taliban were watching the show from a distance in the mountains, so I gave them the finger, and then a rocket came in. So pretty good heckle. We had to leave the stage and shut down, and then wait for the all clear. And then once the all clear came, I came back on stage and continued the show. So the heckler didn't even win in that story.
Were you a little shaken up about that, having a rocket launched at you?
It was, well, I didn't see the rocket. I only heard the rocket attack siren come off. So it was I rattled by it? Not really. No, I always felt very protected when I was overseas performing for the troops. Like it would be a political nightmare if an entertainer got killed in war. So they make sure that the entertainers are a top priority over there. Never felt like I was ever in serious harm's way, like intentionally or unintentionally. So,
well, you kind of are in the safest space that you can be. I'm such a sucker for uniforms. First off, they have a job. Second off, they are so strong and beautiful. And man or woman, one fist is good as another.
First off, they have a job. That's right. You're wearing a uniform. You've got a job. You're right.
I can't even go into McDonald's anymore.
Is the manager here? Nice.
So, the Taliban heckle is pretty serious, but I know that comics backstage like to insult each other and such. And I have to admit, comics are usually pretty mild with me, but I'm noticing I was in the mall the other day and I overheard one boy telling his buddies that he was getting his wisdom teeth removed, and the other kid chirped up, "Why? So you can fit more dicks in your mouth?" And I thought, that was brilliant. What are some of the best insults that other comics have said to you?
Oh my God. I think the best ones always come out of the spontaneity of it, right? Like, I don't think that kid at the mall rehearsed that joke, but if he did, my hat's off to him. But that seemed like an off the cuff. All the best kind of insults are always off the cuff. But I'm not one of those guys. I'm a nice human being. I'm not one to bust balls a lot. I mean, if the ball's popping around the back of the club, of course I'm gonna jump on the volleyball and spike it every once in a while. But yeah, generally I'm not an insult comic, that's for sure. No.
But have other comics insulted you?
I'm sure they have. Yeah. Nothing springs to mind, obviously.
No. Okay. No problem. Do you consider yourself an influencer?
Not like a social media influencer?
Yeah, or society influencer, being on stage and expressing yourself.
I don't think I'm part of that demographic. I think I'm in the middle of my life now. I don't think a lot of people are looking at me going like, what's this guy got going on that I want to know about? I'm in Canadian show business, so right off the bat, I'm flying in under the radar. There's not, you can be at the peak of Canadian show business, and at best you'd be like, I think I recognize that guy.
Yeah.
So as far as influencing goes, no, I don't think so. I'm not a trendsetter, that's for sure.
Do you exercise?
I do. I just ran the New York City Marathon in November. I didn't win, if you're wondering. I did not win. Yeah, when you cross the finish line at night, there's probably not going to make the podium. It was a great experience. I loved it. I think that's going to be my last marathon. That was my third and final marathon. I do like running. I do love snowboarding. I'm part of the Snowed In comedy tour. We do a cross Canada tour every year, and it started as an excuse to go snowboarding. So we would just book these theaters and then go snowboarding for the day before. Yeah. And then it slowly became a giant tour. So yeah, snowboarding in the winter, running in the summer. I stopped going to the gym during COVID because COVID, but I'm going to get back to it again, trying to find a gym in my hood that I would like to join now. Yeah.
My problem is I've noticed if I ever have any gym memberships or anything, even if they take my money, I don't want to go.
Okay. That's the big first step of the gym is you have to go to the gym. Yeah. That's another reason why I got to find a good gym for me that's close by, that either has good parking or is walking distance, So that's the big hurdle. Find a gym that you want to go to.
There's two literally 3 blocks walking distance in either direction, and I don't want to go to either of them because okay, so it hurts not to go, but it really hurts to go.
But always remember how good you'll feel the next day after the gym.
No, the next day I'm in intense pain.
Then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Lots of stretching, lots of water. I think the ice cream truck is going by. Can you hear that? We're talking about going to the gym, and the ice cream truck is just like right on cue.
Tease.
Go to the gym, have an ice cream.
It's so much better. You feel better after the ice cream instead of the gym. That's great.
That's true. Screw the gym. My gym in Toronto when I was a Torontonian was right next to a cookie store. So you can imagine like walking into the gym and it's just this fresh baked cookies are in the air as you're walking. Like, oh, come on, this is torture. I want to go to the cookie store, not the gym.
For sure. Cookies taste better than the smell of other people's sweat in the padding.
Don't be tasting that. No. Carrie, no, don't be doing that. That's lesson number 2. Don't be tasting the gym.
For again the health conversation, we ask all the boys for science what kind of underwear you wear.
I'm a boxer brief kind of guy. Yeah, I like a little support, but I don't like the briefs. Briefs are too supported. The boxers are too flippity floppity.
Yes. You need the half and half. I enjoy the boxer brief for the leg chafing, to prevent that, the thigh rubbage. And do you have a special brand?
Do I have a special brand? No, I don't. No, not at all. I'm a bad shopper. I think I don't like when comedians make broad generalizations and men do this and women do this, but I think men generally don't like shopping. So I think we go to the store like 3 times a year and go, okay, underwear, socks, I got to get some pants, just do it as quickly as possible and get out of there. And,
I used to love Christmas. People used to say socks for Christmas. That sucks. But I used to love getting fresh new socks.
Fresh socks at Christmas. I love it. Absolutely.
One of the best feelings is putting on a brand new soft pair of socks. Oh, goodness. Have you ever met a celebrity that left you starstruck?
Oh, many. Again, I'm talking about this play that I'm doing. It's called The War Comic, and it's about my experiences performing for the troops. And of course, the most famous comic ever to perform for the troops is Bob Hope. And when I lived in New York, I had a very brief little experience with Bob Hope. I was doing this promotional job, and we were giving out Orangina. I don't know if you remember Orangina. It was a
very much so. Yeah, it's sexual and delicious.
Absolutely. It was so I would drive this giant truck around to, you know, parks and recreation areas, and then the girls would hand out samples of Orangina, and then I looked out and I'm like, it's Bob Hope. Bob Hope and he was 94, I think, at the time, or like very elderly. So he did a little sample of the Orangina, and then he said something to his assistant, and then his assistant said, "Mr. Hope likes your drink," and we all laughed, and it was like that's starstruck. That's, you know, like one of the most famous people ever in showbiz is Bob Hope. That was an experience. But
That's
the most starstruck I've ever been was I met Mark Messier when I wrote for the talk show in Canada. We had Mark Messier come on the show, and yeah, I was an idiot. I was an idiot. I wore my New York Rangers jersey with my name on the back, and Messier comes over and says, "Hey, how's it going?" And beyond starstruck, and he looks at the back of my jersey, he says, "Zedlacher." I don't remember playing with a Zedlacher, and I remember going like an idiot. And
you giggled like a little schoolgirl. That's amazing.
I literally did, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, I can't thank you enough. Is there anything, so this one-man show we need to keep an eye out for? Do we keep track of your website, Instagram?
Yeah, so we just relaunched my website. Websites used to be where everybody goes. Now it's almost like you do a website to show where to go to your social media. So that's kind of what we just rebranded, Zedlacher.com. It just kind of points you in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. It's all Zedlacher, at Zedlacher. But yeah, gearing up for the one-man show called The War Comic. It's debuting at the Edmonton Fringe Festival this August 17th through 27th. And then from there, we're gonna make the show bigger and hopefully tour it and see you in your neck of the woods.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh my gosh, if you're around London, Ontario, please let me know, because I'm just opening up a music hall, and it'd be amazing if you could do a spot or, you know, whatever.
Oh, I'm into it. Yeah, keep me in the loop. I would love to get down to London and do some shows.
That'd be amazing. Well, Pete, if I can ask you for one more thing, if you can say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload.
I love Newsload.
Thank you, Pete. You're amazing, and thank you for giving the CN Tower hand jobs.
You got it. No, I think this. Anyway, I thought the CN Tower was masturbating itself. That's what
Love it, love it. Thank you, Pete. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
This is the Newsload.